everyone, and welcome back to Humble Heart Horsemanship. My name is Sabrina, and today's video, we're talking all about how to keep children safe around horses. For those of you who don't know, I am a horseback riding instructor, and I'm currently working at a very beginner-focused barn. I teach both adults and children, but the majority of the lessons that I teach, I work with children. So I have a lot of experience working with children firsthand around horses and also teaching them all of the necessary safety rules when it comes to being around horses. We are all aware that horses are very large, very powerful, very dangerous, and very unpredictable animals. So in today's video, I'm sharing with you some really fundamental safety rules and protocols that all children need to know and practice when they are working with horses and riding horses. I like to start off by saying that anytime that you have children around horses, they need to be supervised 24/7 and making sure that they are following all of these very necessary safety rules and protocols. That way they stay safe and the horse also stays comfortable and safe as well. We'll have horses that are very beginner safe and very friendly and very gentle, and I think some of us get really comfortable and we'll, kind of say to ourselves, oh, this horse has never bucked, this horse has never bolted, it's never reared or kicked out at anyone, and I've owned it for a decade or more. And then some people think that because the horse has never done any of those behaviors before, it means that it is totally safe to allow a child to be around the horse by themselves. And it's important to understand that horses are unpredictable. All horses are capable of doing all the things that I just mentioned. And so we can't look at one horse that's very safe and very friendly and write him or her off and say, oh, this horse is perfectly safe, because you never know, because they are animals, when they might do one of those very dangerous behaviors. A lot of children are intimidated by horses, especially when they first get started. That's totally natural. But one thing that you can do to help the child get more comfortable being around horses is to teach them basic horse body language. Horses are incredibly expressive creatures, and they communicate how they are feeling through the position of their ears, their facial expressions, and their body. So it's really helpful to sit down with a child and just talk about some of the really basic body language that a horse will give you and what those different body languages mean. Horses are prey animals, so a really helpful way to explain to the child how the horse is as an animal overall is to break down what a prey animal is and kind of explain how that relates to the horse's personality and just the horse as an animal. One of the first things I always emphasize with students is to never go behind a horse. And if you have to go behind a horse for whatever reason, make sure that they know how to do it safely and practice it with them frequently. Horses can kick with their back legs, and especially with children being so small, sometimes your horse will not always see the child behind them, and they may, kick or stomp out at something. I have a video on this channel where I demonstrate how to safely walk behind a horse. If you can't, walk way far behind them and keep a really big distance between you and the horse. So I will link that video down below in the description box for you guys to reference if you would like to watch that video. The next one is no running or yelling in the barn whatsoever. Oftentimes children get very excited about, seeing the horses or being around the horses, and a lot of times that energy will come through the child through running or screaming or yelling. And of course, going back to the whole horses are prey animals, horses can easily spook. This next one can sometimes be a hard one to catch, but children need to always be standing. There is no sitting down close to the horse, there's no crawling on their knees or bending down really low. But this can be a hard one to catch because, children use their hands a lot to help them balance because, they're growing and they're learning. So sometimes, for example, you may have a kid working on how to clean out their horse's hooves. So they may, when they get to the back legs, really crouch down and almost be sitting on the ground while they're cleaning out their horse's hoof, thinking that this is totally okay because they can reach the horse's hoof better. But in reality, if that horse were to kick, that child's face is right next to the horse's hoof, and horses cannot see directly in front of them or directly behind them. So especially when you're coaching a horse, you want to emphasize that they should never approach the horse directly from the front of the horse or directly from the back of the horse because they can't see you there. Always approach a horse from the horse's shoulder, from the side. That way the horse can actually see you and they will be aware that you are coming near them. This is another one that I see a lot, even with adults too. And it's the principle of always turning your horse back towards the gate that you brought them in from before you take off the horse's halter and let the horse be free. It even applies to bringing your horse into a stall. Once you bring him in, you always want to turn him back around to face the door. The reason for this is some horses get very excited when you set them free out in their field or their paddock or their stall. And so if you walk in and just take the horse's halter off, you're not in a good position because the horse might kick out or maybe even buck as they run off with excitement. And if you're standing close to the horse's hind end versus close to the horse's face, you might accidentally get kicked. So make sure that the kids are always turning the horse around, standing by the horse's head, and then removing that halter. Make sure that children are always wearing the best possible clothing and footwear for being around horses. When it comes to clothing, they need to be wearing a top that's appropriate for the weather condition that they're in, whether that's summer or winter, etc. They also need to be wearing long pants, whether that's jeans or riding breeches, and with boots, they need to be wearing boots that are strong enough and sturdy enough to protect their toes in case the horse were to accidentally step on their toes. That does happen a lot. You know, tennis shoes are better than like flip-flops or sandals, but that's not really going to protect toes. So, you know, cowboy boots or riding boots are so much sturdier and are really going to help keep their feet safe. Keep in mind that all those things that I mentioned are just safety rules that everyone should be following when they are riding and working with horses, whether you're an adult or a child. Stay safe around horses and to practice all those rules that I just mentioned. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure that you scroll down, hit that like button, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!